There comes a time when we really need to pay attention to our feelings and thoughts in order for us to take care of our minds.
I grew up thinking that I'll just never be enough, and maybe it was just my portion to be sad. Like I felt like I was a placeholder there. Like I can't even describe how sad I used to be.
Yeah.
I had a place in my diary that I said one day, if I'm happy for just one day, I'll take it. That place in my diary was empty for years. It's taken a while for me to realize how much God loves me. And I think once you realize how much God loves you, you begin to see things in a different light. So
there comes a time when we really need to pay attention to our feelings and thoughts in order for us to take care of our minds. In our busy lives with work and relationships, there is a need to really stop and think how we are really doing mentally. Being mentally well does not really mean not just being sick. It means being able to take care and look after yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, today I welcome you, one of the most amazing ladies on campus who will share with us a perspective of personal development, a perspective of mental wellness. So she'll be sharing with us her experiences, the reason why she decided to delve into this field of mental wellness. Aseye, welcome to my podcast.
thank you.
How is everything going?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm okay. And I'm really excited that today we'll be talking about a really important topic that I think people out there need to, learn about, because, people, when they think about mental wellness, especially in Africa, mental health, they think, oh, maybe this person has been bewitched. They don't really think about that. The fact that mental wellness can come from really so many things, so many experiences, pressure from our families, pressure from our relationship, and so many things. So I'm really excited that we'll be covering this topic today. So my first question that will make us kickstart our podcast is, can you tell us a bit about your personal journey in mental health and what inspired you to gain interest in this field?
Okay. So first of all, I think for me, from an early stage, I had mental health issues. But at that time, obviously, when you're young, you don't even know that that has to do with mental health. You think it's like, for me in particular, I thought it was part of an everyday life. I actually thought that my portion in life was to be sad forever, because that's how long I was sad for. And for me, right at high school, I was bullied for a long time.
Wow.
And you think that bullying is just like a boy thing. It's not really like anything else. But I was bullied by both boys and girls. And
was it physical abuse?
I won't even say physical. It was more of verbal, but there was some physical aspect to it. And so, for an instance, is you know how when you're in high school, people form cliques and things, and there were just these cliques that just found belittling people as fun. So, usually you watch these things in movies, but it's not just like
we just think maybe they're acting and all that, but it happens in real life.
Real life. And for a long time, I had put in my head that I would just never be enough. Not even in terms of like the physical appearance, because some people, when you're adolescent, some people develop earlier than others. So it wasn't even just about physical, but even in terms of like academics. And to think about that aspect too, it's not like I was below or anything. People used to compare me to my little sister because she's an academia. She was always first. She was always killing it. Like all the teachers knew her. And then there's me, who was not even like average. I was not average at all. If anything, yes, I won't be first, but I'll either be second or third, or I was never ever below 10th, like the 10th position. That's out of like 100 kids.
Wow.
But then like teachers and my peers, I won't even call them peers, they're just classmates. They just always found a way to like belittle me in particular. And I just always, like, I grew up thinking that I would just never be enough, and maybe it was just my portion to be sad. Like I felt like I was a placeholder. There are people who are happy, then they have their sad days. But me and my placeholder is to just be sad every single day. And that's how I felt for many years, like primary, junior high, senior high. It was a long time. And you know how um they say habits take 21 days to form. I feel like it's the same with the people that you're surrounded with or the environment you're in, not just with habits. Because if for many years people tell you that you're never enough, people make jokes about your appearance, people compare you. Maybe at the beginning you don't see yourself in that light, but eventually you begin to think that, okay, this is how I am. If people think this way about me, then this is how I am. And that's how I felt for a very long time. I couldn't see myself in a different light. I just always thought that this is me, and because this is how people have identified me, then this is who I'm meant to be. And it took a long time for me to break out of it and even be able to reach the point where after high school, after I've graduated, I haven't even seen those people. You think that, oh yeah, you should be able to move on, you should be able to have a better self-esteem or value yourself and have self-worth. But things didn't change because that's the environment I was surrounded with. Even after
So you felt like whenever you go, you'll still experience the same thing.
Exactly. So I was very closed off, and that also didn't help because I was just afraid to open up. And I think that also ties into having good friends, because I won't say I had good friends at that time. Maybe I had friends, acquaintances, but in terms of good friends, maybe countable, but it wasn't like a relationship is two-way. So it was more like I was a good friend to them, but then they probably never saw my point of view or the needs that I need. Like, nobody ever defended me in that period of time. I was always defending people when they needed it.
Even though you were sharing with your friends, like, what's going on? Like,
so even with that, it took a long time for me to open up that this is how I feel about things. Because people didn't know. It's funny how you can be in the same school with people, but they don't realize the things that are happening to you. It's like not like they turn a blind eye, but it's like their world is filled with so many other things that they're living the good life that they don't realize that your other friend is really going through things. So that's how things were for me for a long time. And it took me to senior high to realize that the people you surround yourself with are important. Because I just and so senior high, I had friends, all right, but someone who would even advise me when I'm wrong. Because I'm not even saying that I was the best child during that period to why did they bully me. Even at a point in time, my analogy was, okay, maybe they think I'm a soft person. And so if I do like hard girl things, then they'll stop bullying me. So that I in 10, I also decided that, okay, I'm going to be rude, right? And at that childish age, you think that, oh, that's the best way to go. I didn't know that that was not the best way. So for a long time, I was rude to people because I was like, if I'm not rude, then they see me as a soft person. That creates them the tendency for them to be mean to me. So me too, I'll be rude too, right? But that's not how to go about things. But at that stage, that's how I felt like I could overcome it and seem like I'm strong
by being rude.
But little did I know that even being rude will hurt me more, because it's like that's not
who
me.
you are.
And so it's like I've said something to seem like I'm strong.
But you know, I think that's the biggest problem that maybe a lot of people might face. You know, people take advantage of your your character. You know, if they see that you're that person who is really a good person, who doesn't react quickly to things, who is always calm. Like if maybe you do something wrong to me, I wouldn't oh, there are people who immediately react with a bad attitude, or you know, the way you treated them, they will treat you the same. But some of us are not the same. We take things calmly. Like maybe there are people who are tolerant first. Maybe they'll let you do something bad to them 2 times before they warn you, before they even speak. And even when they get to speak, they will speak in a nice way. And it will be hard for the other party who is provoking you to understand that, you know, this person really doesn't like it. And sometimes we don't want to be seen as bad people. That's why we're always protecting. We think we are protecting ourselves, but we're really hurting ourselves by not being expressive. Because you're like, oh, if I react like this, what is this person going to think of me? You know, because they already know me as this person who is nice, who is always like, you know, may like not that rude. But once you act rude now, your whole character now changes. People think you're this different person. I think that's the challenge that we face. And I don't think you've explained already how you're able to overcome that.
So I think the first thing was being able to open up, being able to reach a point where I wasn't afraid of judgment from my peers, because it was like I kept a lot of things in.
Yeah.
And it was not healthy as well. So I think the first thing for me was being able to speak up and bring myself to talking to people and even my parents eventually. I think until uni, my parents didn't even know I was bullied in high school.
So you didn't tell them?
I didn't tell them.
Do you think like you're a strong girl?
I don't know what they thought. I've never asked actually, but until uni, it was actually a funny experience because in uni, I went for an event and there was someone who wanted to speak to me. And I was just basically advising them. The person is my friend. And the person went to tell their parents that, oh, I'm the one who helped them through depression and things. And so their parents went to tell my parents. And that's when my parents found out that I was bullied in high school. So it wasn't even me telling my parents. It was my parents finding out through someone's experience because I advise them and things like that. So I mean, now they know and it's easier to talk to them about things now. I think as you grow, you are more confident in speaking to your parents. But when you're a child, it's like these people, they don't understand me. So you just don't really want to communicate with them. But I mean, the first thing was being able to open up. And then the second thing was being able to forgive. Because I just couldn't forgive people. Like even right up until uni, I hadn't seen a lot of people for years, which was intentional. And then, I saw some of my mates that were in high school with me, and particularly someone who like had bullied me for a long time. And I wasn't kind, like not kindness, and I was mean to them, but I would ignore them.
Bad, right?
If I see I'm passing the other side, I just didn't want to have contact with them because I didn't know how to react because things were still ingrained in my mind. I wasn't able to move past it. So I think the second thing to be able to reach a point where you let go, you're able to forgive and forget. And maybe lastly, being able to pinpoint where you have to improve on. Because I was closed off, it was hard for me to communicate with people. It was hard for me to make friends because I just always thought that people will never like me. And I mean, truly, not everyone will like you. But then in my mind, I was like, not a single person. Like, if you try and be my friend, in my mind, the back of my mind is like, look, you don't like me. But then you're just taking advantage of me. And I mean, I had to rewind and realize that I am a good person and people do see my value, and being able to express myself and realize my self-worth. I mean, I'm still, it's a process.
It's a process. So do you think you haven't healed?
I have healed for some parts, not completely, because I'm not able to completely forget. Like sometimes I do remember, which is human nature. You can't just, things aren't magical just like that. Right now, I just pray that God grants me to a point where I'm able to even not be overwhelmed by emotions when I see them and things like that. So it's a process, and it's not a fast track process just like that. But I think being able to realize your value is the most important out of the three, because when you are able to realize where your highs are and what you are as a person, you're able to progress in that. So for me, for example, I'm a nice person, and you know how people are like,
I know that you're nice. You're a nice person.
I used to think I was just like, and I care about people. That's one thing about me. I care about people so much. I even used to think it was a weakness, but it's a weakness when you allow people to take advantage of you. But
of your goodness,
in essence, it's not a weakness, and I like that I'm able to willingly have the gift of the act of service, because I will do things for people and it just doesn't, it's like it comes to me easily. And being able to realize what you're good at, I think, is a very major point, because you can't just be living life and not know that, oh, this is what I'm good at. This is not what I'm good at, but I can progress in this. For example, even talking right now, it's taking me years to reach a point where I'm able to talk freely to people, because I was closed off. So it's like, even being able to communicate day to day, I'm shy of people and things like that. But being able to talk has been like a major point for me. That's even why I started the podcast, because I just wanted to get better in my speech and the
Good speaker.
self-reservedness and everything.
Yeah, you really speak well. So, well, okay, you have mentioned that you started a podcast. It's about mental health, right?
It's about self-development.
Self-development.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think, because the other time I had an interview with one of the guys, his name is Christian, and he was talking about sometimes we have to take a pause and really ask ourselves, what is our purpose on earth? Do you think right now you are fulfilling your purpose by being an advocate of mental wellness, by like trying to have initiatives that promote mental well-being in the community? Do you think right now that has become your purpose?
Yeah, I think it's part of my purpose, because even before the podcast,
Yeah.
I was the welfare chairperson for the student council.
Yeah.
And
In university?
yeah,
Ashes University?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And for a long time, being able to see that people were happy with the events, like I was the one who started wishing people birthdays on the media platforms. Wellness Wednesday was down for a long time. I brought it back. I mean, I don't even want to say I did with my team, because my team was very essential in me being able to push forward with what I wanted to. So shout out to my team. But I think it began from being the welfare chairperson, because I was very focused on being better and being helpful to people, and that position helped me to cater to a lot of people. And even TLC, there was a moment we did packages during mid-semester and we just shared to people, and I received mails from people I didn't even know, messages, and it just made me feel that
you're doing something.
I'm doing something, and that means a lot to me. It's not even just to be recognized, but it's the fact that people actually reach a point of happiness, and that makes me more than happy, even happier than they are.
They are, wow.
And just the little things that I'm able to do, even if it's to help someone with life issues, is to anything at all. Once I'm able to help it just makes me happy. I feel like the little things help people with their mental health, because sometimes you may think that, oh, you have to do something big, but you realize that sometimes it's even just a hug and someone will be okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just the little things, and I think that's my purpose, to not do major things, but to consciously remember that even the little things can go a long way.
Okay. So now I'm trying to find this another scenario, let's say in terms of, because people face mental unwellness in their relationships, right? It doesn't matter which relationship, romantic or whatever it is. So, and most of the times what causes that is lack of communication between the two parties, right? Because I feel like, let's say a romantic relationship, for example, two people come with different interests and different experiences. I don't know how many times you've been hurt. Like, you don't know how many times I've been hurt. So once we get into that relationship, right? My intention might be different. You don't know what's my intention. My intention, if I get into a relationship because I want to heal, then I'll cause havoc. Right? I'll really cause havoc. So what do you think, what are the tips that you have for people who are in a relationship, either romantic or friendship? What tip would you give them to ensure that they run away of this danger of being mentally unstable? Because it's real. It's real. I've seen a lot of relationships getting destroyed and people now having to go for therapy, some committing suicide. I was reading some statistics that, so many, it's like so many people in the world, they really go under depression. And 25% of that is relationship. So what would be your tip?
For me, I feel like relationships are two ways. So even if it's not relationship is a friendship. It starts from a friendship. So I'll tackle the friendship because I haven't been in a serious relationship
Oh, come on.
to give my 2 cents on it.
For real? Okay.
I'm taking life a day at a time. So
Oh.
yeah, I haven't reached there.
You have disclosed your information to these boys.
Please. I haven't reached there yet.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But I think for friendship, communication is ideal. You always hear people say, or ladies say that you weren't communicating properly, like men weren't communicating properly. I didn't understand. I think it's two ways. And we use the word communication, but communication is not even the thing for me. I think it's listening more than even communicating, because you can communicate and the person is not listening. So what's the end deal? Nothing comes out of it. So I think for the first thing is to be an active listener to your friend, whoever it may be, and being understanding as well, being able to see two sides. Sometimes human beings, we have ego and we always want to be right, and that blinds us in our friendships. It's like this person has done this to me, and so I don't want to be their friend again. We always have these statements that we make, or people will say in relationship, people will say men are trash. I think it's two ways, honestly. I think
actually, I hate the statement.
Women are trash. I mean, trash is a harsh word.
Yeah.
But I think if we're using that statement, it's a 50-50, because you meet men that you think, where are these men from? Like, this is a good man. Then you meet women and be like, this is a good woman. So it's both ways. And I think it just starts from character development. And as you said, some people, they don't heal and then they enter a relationship. You can't think you heal in a relationship. Your self-development or character development is your personal life. And so you have to work on yourself before you progress into anything serious. And to be practical, you have to sit down and actually pinpoint your weak points, where you need to improve on. And don't think things like human beings, we really have a utopian view on how development should work. It's like gymming. You can't gym for a week and think you already have the body you want. Like, it does not. Or sleep and
Doesn't
wake
work
up
like that
and think that you have the body you want. It doesn't work like that. And it's the same with character development. It's a process. You can't expect that because you've decided. I mean, deciding that you want to get better is a major first point, because you can't move in life without deciding that, okay, I want to improve. So you being able to realize where you need to be is the first point, and actually being disciplined to be practical about these things that you've noted about yourself and improving. It's also essential. So I think the practical aspect is very important, because we say we want to do this, we say we want this, we want that, but then we do nothing about it. It's people do vision boards, people type in their notes, I want to be better in this area, and it ends there. The vision board ends there. It's in aesthetics. The notes that you've said you want to improve, it ends there.
You don't work on it.
And it doesn't help, because when you don't work on yourself, you also push people away from you, because maybe the person you're being friends with right now is working on themselves, and you expect them to carry your burden. And yes, friends are there to be there for you and to even help you in your character development, but they can't do everything for you. You also have to reach a point where you're willing to improve on yourself. So I think it's realization that, oh yes, I need to improve, and being practical. Practical is the most important aspect, because a lot of the times we say we want to improve. It's just in the saying.
It's just the thought.
Nothing.
But and I think I believe on the point where you said in a relationship or in the communication with two people, it's not about just communicating, it's about understanding or listening. sometimes, I always remember my podcast. I was talking to this other guy as well and he said, sometimes we just listen to reply. We don't listen to understand the perspective of another person, which makes everything worse. Because if I'm just talking to someone and I want to make my point clear, or my point to be the one that stands ahead, then that's a problem. And another thing about action, I think attracts, when you are working on yourself and you're confident, you'll see changes when you're working on yourself. First of all, your confidence grows. You are able to, take like initiatives easily, because right now your mindset is positioned in the way that, I'm not scared of anything. I'm this person, right? And that makes people to be attracted to you. And I think that's also a really good point. So another question: do you think therapy is the best way for people to heal, or you think self-management is the best way? Let's say right now I'm heartbroken, and I need to heal. Do you think therapy is the best option, or you think self care is the best way? Which one would you go for?
So if I'm generalizing it before I go for which one I'll go for, I think the statement to each their own is truly to each their own. I have never gone for therapy because I'm just not trusting enough that anyone I don't know can help me.
Ooh.
But that's me.
Yeah.
I think I would feel better talking to someone I know who can relate with my circumstances and who has experience. Someone like my mother. I go to my mother a lot. But that's what I'm saying, to each their own, because people prefer to go to counselors for therapy. And counselors are experienced. That's why they are counselors. But for me, I just prefer to go to someone I know, just because there's more comfort in speaking up.
Yeah.
If I went for therapy, or if I ever went for therapy, I won't say everything. I would probably hide something, aspects of maybe the issue at hand.
It can be different. You know why? Let's say you know somebody in and out. It is hard. Okay, what am I saying? It is hard to sometimes to express yourself, to come out to people because of fear of judgment. Like, oh, from now on they'll think I say it's like that, it's like this, right? But now think about therapy. You're going to a person that you don't know, you don't care. Like, you're going to tell them what's going on with your life anyway. After 1 week or after 2 weeks, they're not gonna see me again, right? I think that's maybe the reason why people would choose to go for therapy more than going to a person they know very well, their mother, their friend, or their boyfriend, or whatever it is. But now I think it will be better, just like you said, to have conversation with people you know, and that starts from building trust.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's okay whatever that they're gonna think of you after, but as long as you know that you trust them enough that they won't disclose your information or your personal life to other people. Because now, what happens after your friendship is broken, or your bond with your mom is broken, your bond with whoever you trust is broken? Now the fear comes back. Oh, they're gonna disclose my information. You know that thing when you visit your auntie and you're going to share with them what's going on with their life, and obviously you'll mention that person that Aseye has been going through this and that and that. And for us human beings, it's really hard to hide things, like to respect people's privacy. Sometimes it's hard. So I think there might be a reason why people might choose to go for therapy, because, man, I'm gonna meet you today and you're gonna give me advice, then that's it. I don't care like what will happen after. You'll tell my story to someone else that I don't even know, so that doesn't bother me, right? So I think I understand your perspective of maybe talking to somebody like.
That's why I said to each their own, because it definitely, it's based on how you feel at the time you're going through that.
Yeah.
And first of all, being even open to talking to someone.
Yeah.
And then with the self-care aspect, for me, prayer works. And I
Powerful,
believe
yeah.
that God even knows before we come to him. And so that's why we should go to him a lot. It's like we think about God last after there's no results. It's like when you are stranded, that's when we think about God. But it's important to go to God first.
Yeah.
And it's also important to know what you like, because I love ice cream. Like I love ice cream.
Okay.
So
Wow.
ice cream is like my comfort food. And the funny thing too is I'm lactose. So it's like I'm playing with myself, but I love ice cream.
Oh.
So
So like ice cream brings some
it just
joy,
comforts
comfort.
me.
Yeah.
It's so
Don't worry. After this, I'm gonna buy some ice cream.
ice cream is lovely.
Yeah.
So prayer works.
No,
Prayer
prayer
really
works. That's true.
works. And
I think I agree with that. You know, sometimes I was listening to some people saying that, oh, I've been using maybe I've heard people using antidepressants and it has been working and all that. I'm like, come on. God created you, and there's no way he will fail you if you are able to talk to him, if you are able to communicate with him. Why do I need external stuff if I am a person who is a believer? You know, prayer. And people, I don't think people know really to like deeply how God can change things in a matter of a second. As long as you know how to listen to him, follow, like we all live by instructions, right? And when we live by instructions and you are able to follow his instructions, you'll be fine. And he didn't say that life will be easy anyway.
I think that's the
Yeah.
funny part.
Yeah.
Not just I feel like a lot of times we say things and we don't realize that it's not plain. God never said life will be easy, but he said he'll be in the boat with us. He said
Yeah.
he'll be in the storms
Yeah.
with us. And I feel like that should calm you down. And as much as I'm even thinking, this is also to myself, because there have been times where I have been worried. But it's human nature. And when you realize that you are worried, okay, but then you go back to God, then that's like 1+1.
One
You're
plus
doing
one.
the great thing,
Yeah.
because you can be worried. I think people think that, oh, because you're Christian, you can't be worried. We are human. We
No,
are
that's not
human.
right. Yeah.
You can be worried, but you have to reach a point that even in your worry, you remember that the God who created me, my Father who created me, can calm the storm. And you know, when you read the Bible, sometimes you're like, wow, these stories, if they were happening in this time, like you may think that is some shakara thing, but
I mean, there's so many events in the Bible that like I'm really shocked about. Like to think of them, and you don't have a reason to say that I don't have faith that I will heal, because there were drastic moments, really, really drastic moments. There's so many stories in the Bible that when I read, I'm like, oh, for example, the story of Israel and the Egyptians, how chaotic it was, but God provided a solution. So you're facing your small problem, academics, and you think,
what can he do?
Yeah, it's all about having faith. Faith heals. Your faith, it all depends on your faith. If you have faith that God can change your life, if you have faith that things will be all right, then they will be all right. But if you have doubts, then that's where things won't work out. That was really powerful. So what would be your advice?
All I would say is that God's got you. Like, do it.
God's got you.
Because it's taken a while for me to realize how much God loves me. And I think once you realize how much God loves you, you begin to see things in a different light. So if you are struggling right now with mental health, you're struggling with academics, you're struggling with in relationships, friendships, anything at all, just go back to your Father. Just go back to God and remember all the time, God has your back. He will never, ever, ever leave you. He hasn't left me. And for me, the way I used to be sad, like I can't even describe how sad I used to be.
Yeah.
I had a place in my diary that I said one day, if I'm happy for just one day, I'll take it. That place in my diary was empty for years. Like,
Wow.
when I say years, I mean like 6+ years, for a long time. But to look back at my life now and to see how God has changed me, to see how He's shown me how He loves me. He's brought joy into my life and brought people that I am amazed by their character, and I'm amazed by who they are. Just remember that what you're going through, it won't last. God has your back and you grow beautifully. Your problems, when you look back at them, you'll be like, is this really a problem? So yeah, in simple words, God has your back. God has you, and He'll never ever leave you or forsake you. Don't be afraid to open up. If you're afraid to open up because of the people you're surrounded with, that should be a sign that you should change your friends, because you should be able to open up. So take that as a sign. And just know that things get better. You will not stay on the ground forever. You have to realize that you won't stay on the ground forever and push yourself. So yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. If I'm okay, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. I mean, I think that's the most important thing. That's, bringing people who have experienced, these such things. It's really important, because now they have something to learn about. I mean, I'm sure there are so many people right now who are facing what you have faced, and it's the little things that build up to mental destruction. People might think, oh, it was a high school thing. Oh, it's not a big deal. By that time and by the way, there's this thing that, why would you be stressed when you're young? You don't have responsibilities. But think about what you have gone through. It's not because, even though you were young, you went through some mental mental health issues, right? And people might say, oh, because you were young, then you don't have responsibilities. It's not about, maybe there are some young people right now who are going through mental health crisis, but they are not aware. They are not conscious. They think, oh, it's the normalities of life, but it builds up. And when you grow up and you start reminiscing, you start remembering, you'll be like, nah, actually I was bullied. So even, it's not about age, it's not about how old you are. It's real. So I'm glad that you brought that experience from the foundation, from when you were still growing up, and now people can relate into that. People can be able to teach their kids. People can be able to monitor the progress of their children, which is really amazing. I think I'll bring it to the end. This is all I had to ask. Thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sharing your stories. I hope you guys were inspired by Aseye's story and Aseye's she spoke about a lot of things. You staying prayed up, having a good circle of friends that will understand you, because she had friends, but her friends failed. Can you imagine? Thinking that you have friends in life and they fail you. That's bad. So you always have to check your circle of friends, know who they are, what are their intentions in your life. And that will help you build yourself. Also, it's really important. Those notes that you write, I don't know, on your pillow, on the wall in your room, those notes, those sticky notes that are busy filling your room for no reason. It's time for you to take action. If you promised yourself that I want to be a new person this year, then it's time to start acting. Don't be there and think that those notes will turn into a miracle. They will never turn into a miracle unless you start taking action. Thank you so much, Aseye, for coming to International Mic Check, and I hope you enjoyed being with me here to talk to these wonderful people. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. We're still growing, so please subscribe and share with your friends so that they can also get to watch. My name is Judicial Jose, and this is International Mic Check, and this is Aseye. Thank you, Aseye.
Welcome.
Bye.